many people sleep on just a conventional spring mattress. There are many beds out there that look totally bizarre and incorporate new and interesting ideas. So join me for today's video as we take a look at 15 of the most unusual types of beds. Number 15. The massage bed. Sometimes you get a massage that's so good and so relaxing that it just puts you right to sleep. But when the experience is over, you're forced to snap back to reality, pay up, and head out the door back into the crowded, busy, and loud city streets. The relaxation is over. But now, when you have a bed that can give you that much-needed or maybe just much-wanted massage all throughout the night, that's right, this bed acts like a giant massage chair and knows how to hit all of those problem parts, kneading out the kinks and knots in your muscles as you doze off. But not only does it take care of your body, but it also takes care of all your stuff too. This wild bed comes with plenty of storage in the form of a shelf for all your little knickknacks that you may take to bed with you. But not only that, the bed comes with storage space underneath the mattress, an electrical outlet, and a USB port all built right in, so you never have to search for the outlet behind the bed again. It's a pretty cool concept that packs all of your daily and nightly needs into one thing. There's even a lounge chair connected to the side, so you can lay in bed all day without feeling bad about laying in bed all day. Number 14. The Storybook Bed. Are you one of those people out there that likes to curl up in bed with a good book? Well, then this next bed is for you, because it lets you curl up right into the book itself. This storybook bed is designed by the Japanese photographer Yusuke Suzuki, and it's one of the most adorable things you'll ever see. Opting for the traditional Japanese futon-style bed, you just lay this thing right down on the floor, open it up, and catch some Z's. And you won't need to go out and buy a blanket, because the pages of this storybook bed are the blankets. The design is quite simple, but sometimes the simplest ideas are also the most genius. When you wake up in the morning, there's really no need to make the bed, because all you need to do is fold over the cover and start the day right. This may be an unusual design, but it's without a doubt one of the sweetest beds in the world. Much like a book, these pages of the storybook bed are big enough to get lost in and will easily be the best chapter of anyone's day. Number 13. The Rocking Bed. This next entry on our list really rocks, quite literally. Actually, because it takes the concept of the rocking chair and marries it to your typical mattress to create the rocking bed. Also known as the private cloud, this rocking bed design ups the ante by rocking you to sleep like a little baby every night. This patented German bed is actually designed to help new parents rock their babies to sleep every night. But it seems like this is the type of thing you'll want to keep even after you become an empty nester. But who says those bouncing chairs and swinging cribs are just for babies? Because it's about time someone started to think of the parents too. The design of the bed itself is amazing as well, opting for a large, smooth circle with the mattress smack in the middle. So if you're lucky enough to own one of these rocking private cloud beds, just make sure you're not living on a fault line, because that could make for one rough night's sleep. Number 12. The Vertical Bed. Is there anything better than laying down at the end of a long day and just letting all your muscles relax and grow heavy in bed? Well, if you prefer the vertical bed, then yes. Designed by the Italian artist Ernesto Neto, this vertical bed or standing bed is exactly what it sounds like. It looks like a giant marshmallow that stands straight up and hugs your body as you fall into it. But the catch is you're sleeping like a vampire standing in their coffin. Or maybe you just want to sleep with your hands in your pockets like this guy. Or you can even sleep with your hands straight in the air, whatever floats your sleeping boat. But at the end of the day, or better yet, right at the beginning of the day, sleeping standing up isn't the greatest idea for the same reason that standing for 8 hours a day isn't a great idea. It can be pretty tough on your body, and because you're not walking around, all of the blood is going to move straight to your feet, and you may quite literally be in for a rude awakening. Number 11. The Levitating Bed. People love modern furniture. It can help you look like you're ready for the future while still being grounded in reality. And so it should make sense that your bed matches that style. Enter the Levitating Bed. And while it's not literally levitating using the power of sleep magic, the bed simply connects to the wall, which hopefully provides ample support to keep it from plopping down on the floor while you're sleeping. Do you know when you wake up from a falling dream? Well, imagine what it would feel like in this fluffy floater. But all jokes aside, the modern levitating bed offers owners an ample amount of storage underneath, meaning this bed is great if space in your place is minimal. And to double down on the futuristic vibes, this floating bed also comes with a fun lighting system underneath the bed itself that lets it glow. All of your friends are going to think you're sleeping on George Jetson's bed. It's quite literally as close to sleeping in a cloud as you can get, and because it's floating off the ground, who cares if you drop anything underneath it? Number 10. The bird's nest. Since we were kids, everybody has wanted to fly like a bird, but what about sleeping like one? Well, you're all in luck because someone has made that dream a reality with the bird's nest bed. And despite some of the beds we've seen so far, this is an odd one because instead of calling for a mattress, the bird's nest bed opts for some uber-comfy egg-shaped pillows. This bed has been around for quite some time now, having been designed by the OGE Creative Group in 2012. The original prototype was made of some not-so-comfortable cardboard, but since then it's been given a much-needed fluffy upgrade. Now, wannabe birds can enjoy the plush, squishy, and giant poofy eggs that come in an array of colors that can be mixed and matched, but thankfully not hatched for your pleasure. And the unique oval shape lets you sleep in a multitude of positions. So while this probably isn't going to replace the bed you sleep in night after night, it's a great option for your living room or even a kid's playroom, anywhere that will let you melt in there and take a glorious power nap. Number 9. The Feel Deluxe. The next unusual bed on this list really knows how to keep the ball rolling. The Feel Deluxe is truly a one-of-a-kind bed because instead of adopting the typical rectangular or even square design of any bed you can buy, this one's made up of a bunch of squishy balls. But just how many balls are in there? Try 120. This oversized bed lets you take on a number of positions, and it's the perfect piece of furniture to take a nice little cat nap on. The way people like to sleep and even just relax is different for everybody and can change on the individual level over time, and so the Feel Deluxe is malleable in order to reflect that. You can prop it up in what feels like an infinite amount of positions, and if you're looking to get extra snug, you can even fold the entire thing over to fully engulf you like nothing else. Enjoy it alone, with a partner, or with the entire family, because this thing is pretty big. You really do sink right in and can be yours for the modest price of just $14,000. Number 8. Yin-Yang Bed. You can't have light without dark, the masculine without the feminine, good without evil. Sure, I'm talking about yin and yang here, but how does that fit into beds? Well, one designer literally made it fit when they built this yin-yang bed. It's certainly an odd one, and the jury's still out on whether or not it provides any level of comfort, but it's certainly unlike anything else anyone has seen before. This bed takes the concept of a bunk bed and manages to shrink it down while taking it to a new level. The bed frame is nearly a perfect circle and split through the middle, creating 2 tiers, with a bed in each section. So someone's sleeping up top while someone else takes the bottom, but the design certainly does raise a few questions. For starters, how does anyone get to the top bunk of the yin-yang bed? Should the bottom sleeper get in there first to weigh it down and prevent it from tipping over? And what happens if an active sleeper gets in there? Are they going to fall over the side if they have a bad nightmare? Or can they rock the boat a little too much and cause this bed to sway back and forth? I guess there's only one way to find out. Buy it. Number 7. Leto Zip. Are you one of those people like me who hates making their bed? Well, then this bed is made just for you. The Italian company Florida Furniture has gone ahead and created the Leto Bed, which gets rid of things like sheets and blankets and replaces them with a simple solution, a zipper. That's it. So now instead of sprucing the bed up every morning when you'd rather be doing literally anything else, all you have to do is zip it up. The Leto Zip lets you look like a fully functional human being without doing all that work, and the rest of the world won't know the extent of your laziness. It can be your little secret that you can zip away every morning. It's so simple, but it's also kind of a smart idea. The Leto Zip has a puffy and rounded design to give it a more modern look, and comes in white, gray, or blue, and the zipper runs around the entire perimeter of the bed, meaning you can even take the blanket off completely if you want to doze off on a winter's day. And if you'd rather zip yourself into bed, you can make yourself as snug as a bug in a rug as humanly possible with this wacky bed. Number 6. Cartel Tricks. Beds are great, but some of them take up a little too much space, and depending on where you live, square footage can be incredibly limited. But no matter how much or how little space a person has, we all have the right to a good night's sleep. Good thing someone created something like the Cartel Tricks. This thing is awesome, and it's made up of 3 different connected elements, all connected by elastic bands that let you fold this bed to form what suits you, and then pack it all up when you're done for some easy storage. This customizable bed is made of a polyester fabric-covered foam, and it can be turned into a small love seat, a twin-size bed, or a neat armchair. What more could anyone want at the end of a long day, other than a cold beer in their hand? It's just over a foot high, 3 feet wide, and 2.5 feet deep, making this the perfect addition to any comfy minimalist's abode. Plus, setting it up and taking it down is so easy a kid can do it. Number 5. Hamburger Bed. It's burger time. One of the most fun beds, not only on this list, but in the entire sleepy world, is the hamburger bed. Unfortunately for the masses, though, the hamburger bed is a custom job, but a few of them have made their rounds on the internet. One such bed, though, was made by Kayla Cromer when she bought an old round mattress from the 1970s that was all but trash, and then went ahead and made everything else from scratch. I'm talking about pickles, tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, bun, and sesame seeds. It's the biggest burger in the world, just too bad you can't eat it. Kayla's hamburger bed is pretty large, too, with an 8-foot diameter and standing at about 3 feet tall, meaning there's plenty of room in there for some human-sized french fries. But the best part about this bed has to be that bun blanket. She's lucky to be one of the very few people in the world who gets to eat burgers in bed, and I'm sure both her parents and Ronald McDonald are proud of this meaty yet soft art project. Number 4. The Jaws Bed. We're gonna need a bigger bed. If you're afraid of sharks, then the next bed on this list isn't for you. But then again, maybe it is, as exposure to your fears is the best way to overcome them. The Hollywood film Jaws made us all afraid to go into the water, but the shark attack bed hopefully won't make us all afraid to go to bed. This crazy bed is a product of Joseph Ranella, a New York-based craftsman, but once he took his custom creation to the World Wide Web, the internet went ballistic. The bed itself is expertly made and full of wit and tongue-in-cheek humor, but the thought of trying to sleep while your feet dangle inside the jaw of a hungry shark is kinda terrifying. But the fear of being devoured aside, Ranella's shark attack bed even comes with a chest where his son can keep all of his toys, meaning he never needs to get out of bed to play. And luckily for the rest of us, he does take orders and can make beds of any size as long as the price is right. Number 3. Sunken Beds. Everybody loves a big comfy bed, and the bigger the better. And while we all may want a king-size or even California king-size bed, most people just don't have that space to accommodate something of that size in their place. And then there's the bed frame, which is typically even bigger. But there's a little something you can do. Instead of putting your bed on the floor, you just put your bed in the floor. Sunken beds may not be something you see every day, but if you can afford to shell out the cash and maybe have a hipster's eye for style, then you can definitely appreciate these. Sunken beds really help to maintain the feeling of a big open space within the room and just look really cool to boot. But then again, if having a bed that may well be part of the floor isn't quite your thing, then maybe the raised version of the sunken bed may be the one for you. While it's technically off the ground, this version of the ultra-modern classic still looks like it's in a wooden box without the lid. But whichever version of the sunken bed that suits you best, it's a great way to keep the bedroom minimal with an understated look that allows the eye to go wherever it pleases without being too overwhelmed by just one piece of furniture, no matter how important it is. Number 2. Self-making beds. It would seem like every kid in the world hates making their bed. It's always a fight for parents to get them to do it every morning. But can you really blame them? For whatever reason, even though the entire endeavor doesn't take more than 60 seconds, it can easily be the most annoying part of your day. More annoying than the morning commute, going to school, or even clocking in at work. And science has yet to find the reason why. But until that great discovery is made, someone has brought the self-making bed into existence. But this is far simpler than a robotic bed or sheets and a blanket on a remote track. Instead, the self-making bed uses an inflatable sheet that can attach to just about any duvet cover, and boom, you're ready to go. Plus, the inflatable sheet is still incredibly light, meaning you won't even notice a difference as you count sheep. With the simple press of a button, the inflatable sheet fills up with air as if it were in an air mattress and clinging onto your duvet, and lets physics do all the heavy lifting. Voila! Your bed has been made all by itself, and you're free to live the rest of your life. And while a self-made bed is a perfect purchase for lazy people like me, it's also incredibly helpful for the elderly and less physically able people. Is it the most complex concept in the world? Absolutely not. But is it one of the most genius inventions of all time? Yeah, probably. Number 1. Floating bed. Well, it's finally happened. Sleep has finally caught up to technology, and so the magnetic floating bed is here. It took 7 years of research and, ironically, sleepless nights to finally make it happen. The magnetic floating bed uses a simple rectangular board which is painted a sleek and mysterious black and can hold up to about 1,500 pounds, meaning the entire family can get up on this thing on a stormy night. But because this bed of the future took so long to develop and is so expensive to create, it costs about $1.6 million. So there's a good chance that the only people who will ever own one also happen to own multiple penthouses in some of the most exclusive cities in the world. And chances are it will serve as more of an art piece for them than it will actually a sleeping apparatus. But then again, who knows? Maybe someone really will find sleeping on this floating monolith the best sleeping experience they've ever had. Maybe. And if you can believe it, the magnetic floating bed wasn't conceived by the folks over at the local mattress store. It was the brainchild of Jan-Jaap Brusenaars, a Dutch architect who was fed up with so many man-made structures having to bend to the rules of gravity. And while his architectural marvel may be somewhat death-defying by letting 1,500 pounds hover above the floor for 8 hours at a time, it still does beg the question of how hard it's going to hurt when an active sleeper falls to the floor in the middle of the night. Maybe it's best for the architect's sake that each of his magnetic floating beds also comes with a liability waiver. Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.